the adversity. There's been more adversity for Paige than there has been for Caitlin, just in terms of trying to stay on the court. I mean, Paige has been hampered with devastating injuries. I firmly believe that the biggest star on the planet would be Paige Beckers if she had stayed healthy throughout her college run instead of.
After comparing Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark, ESPN analyst Elle Duncan has drawn a lot of criticism. Fans claim the two stars play very different games, igniting intense discussions on social media about whether the comparison is fair or whether it lessens each player's exceptional skill in women's basketball.
Clark. And I'll start out with the stupidest one that she had, the most unbelievable, delusional take I've ever heard in my life. She said, and because she said, I firmly believe, you must know, this must be right. She said, Paige has been hampered with devastating injuries. I firmly believe that the biggest star on the planet would be Paige Beckers if she had stayed healthy throughout her college run instead of sort of stopping and starting.
View ESPN personality Elle Duncan has become involved in controversy after her remarks on Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers sparked heated debates within the sports community.
This is only women that get this. I'm tired of it. Like, here's my thing, you guys. What else? Who are these girls? Who are these girls that are hating on Caitlin Clark? Are you just combing through Twitter? What else are these women supposed to do? Fawn over her? Fangirl over her? Bend the fucking knee? Kiss the ring? Like, what do you...
Duncan lauded UConn basketball star Paige Beckers, saying that she has emerged as one of the top stars in the sport that any coach and player would want on a team. Although Duncan praised Beckers as a player who had not only displayed remarkable talent, but had persevered through many challenges to leave her mark on the game, her comparison of Beckers to Caitlin Clark provoked the strongest responses.
On the field. And like, please be clear, when we talk about Paige, it's not just like, oh, she's so popular on TikTok, that's why she's the face of the... She's so good.
I mean, listen, the TikTok numbers don't hurt, though.
They're great. They're great. Her efficiency is actually staggering when you look at her numbers. 62% field goal percentage and a 4-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. So 4 dimes for every 1 turnover. She went a stretch where she had a game where she scored like 40 points and had 1 turnover, which is wild. She's the primary ball handler. The idea that she doesn't turn them, and that's the point about Paige. I think that's what she's a coach's dream, and Gino's talked about this, because she doesn't cost you.
Clark, the dynamic guard from Iowa, has had a fantastic career and is now well known due to her spectacular performances and record-breaking stats. Duncan claimed that Beckers has had more hardship, particularly due to the psychological and physical effects of repeated injuries. She also pointed out that Clark's rise hasn't been significantly impeded by health issues, allowing her to consistently showcase her abilities and get attention. Duncan's comments caused an immediate and contentious reaction.
I'll take this to say something like that for an athlete who's been hurt. I mean, she already contradicted herself by saying she's been hurt, but she's saying that, well, if she didn't get hurt, well, you know, Mark, if I had played harder basketball a little bit harder, maybe I would have been an NBA player.
Many Beckers supporters praised Duncan for acknowledging the star's difficulties, claiming that injuries had in fact prevented her from establishing her legacy. They valued the understanding of the mental and physical fortitude needed to bounce back from such losses, pointing out that Beckers' capacity for recovery represents a distinct form of greatness.
It happened with all of these journos who aren't journalists anymore. They're fangirls. They're like, it's like weird to me. It's just bizarre. And I know that Caitlin is a once in a generation type of talent because I've been watching her for years since she's been in college. I didn't just get introduced to Caitlin Clark like some of these fans did.
However, Caitlin Clark supporters objected to Duncan's suggestion that Clark's journey had been easier and that Clark might not have suffered serious injuries. Her path to fame has not been without difficulties. Critics emphasized the tremendous responsibility Clark had carried as the spokesperson for Iowa basketball and a pioneer in the sport. Some contended that it was pointless to compare the two players' experiences because they had each encountered particular challenges that were difficult to compare.
Caitlin Clark is the Jordan and Tiger of his era, just in basketball. She's box office, a needle mover, a change agent. When she hits the court, the world stops to look.
Since then, The controversy has spread across social media, with fans analyzing Duncan's comments and discussing what, in sports, qualifies as difficulty. Some have charged Duncan with downplaying Clark's achievements by portraying her path as relatively simpler. Others, however, contend that she was only providing a nuanced viewpoint on the various routes that athletes take to achieve greatness.
This is Paige's victory lap, essentially, of her career. Came into her, college career with lots of hype, struggled with injuries, of course, the COVID seasons, and she's back for her fifth year, essentially. So, I almost want to say there's no excuses for UConn, for Gino Auriemma, who's been talking a lot of.
Additionally, both Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark are very talented individuals who have raised awareness of women's basketball, and their individual legacies continue to motivate supporters worldwide. As the discussion goes on, one thing is certain. The continuing debate regarding what constitutes success and difficulty in sports has gained a new dimension as a result of Duncan's comments, and the fervent fan reactions highlight the significant influence that Bueckers and Clark have had on the sport.
Paige Bueckers. So, Ice, starting with you. Is Paige Bueckers the best player in America?
What I am seeing from what Gino said in the numbers, is she's shooting 56% from the field right now in this tournament. She is doing a ton with two freshmen that she has brought with her all season.
Unquestionably, one of the most captivating talents in women's college basketball, Paige Bueckers has faced her fair share of setbacks. A number of injuries have prevented her from maintaining the explosive trajectory that many had anticipated following her historic freshman season at UConn, but her tenacity and skill continue to inspire admiration. However, Duncan's remarks turn the focus to Clark, implying that even at her lowest points, her star power and crowd-pulling ability are on a different. Her adversary from the college season persisted, feeding rumors that frequently eclipsed her accomplishments.
The official homepage of the WNBA right now, when they announce the schedule, is a photo of Caitlin Clark, and that's it. It's only Caitlin. It's not any other players. It's not any other teams. The fact that they are seemingly leaning into her finally at the very off the rip, leaning into her, like having her front and center. This is just something that I don't think that we would have seen last season. And
adding to her difficulties, Clark had to deal with a level of adversity that few rookies face due to opponents' relentless targeting and referees frequently ignoring the physicality directed at her. However, she not only survived but flourished, putting on incredible performances that solidified her as a force to be reckoned with and complicating matters further. Powerful individuals like Gino Auriemma publicly questioned Clark's team's alignment and physical readiness for the league. Such remarks would have caused a less driven athlete to falter, but Clark's resolve only grew stronger, and she used adversity as motivation. Her late-season efforts were truly amazing, showcasing not only her skill but also her mental toughness, which is a quality that separates great players from mediocre ones.
If you're a college player and you're a great college player, like Caitlin was, the delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. There were actually odds on she's third.
Clark and Bueckers have always been difficult to compare since each player has special talents, but Bueckers' skill and basketball intelligence enthrall. With unmatched energy, Clark is a transcendent scorer. Despite being contentious, Duncan's remarks highlight the larger discussion concerning how women athletes are seen and assisted in their endeavors. Because of her ability to manage games, plan plays with pinpoint accuracy, and drain shots from close to half court with ease, Clark is a transcendent talent in women's basketball. She has broken records, given her team unprecedented exposure, and inspired other young players. However, rather than showcasing her brilliance, some have gone to great lengths to disparage her, calling her a stat patter or claiming that she benefits from an exaggerated system. These criticisms, which are frequently without substance, seem to stem more from dissatisfaction with her authority than from objective research.
You women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
Oh, you are.
Y'all should be thinking that girl up again, y'all. private charters, all the money and visibility she bring into the WNBA. Don't be petty like dudes.
Without a doubt, the hatred towards Clark has escalated to an almost abnormal degree when compared to other celebrities like Paige Bueckers. Although Bueckers is a legendary player, a generational talent in her own right, and a well-liked person in the basketball community, it is ludicrous to claim that she has somehow had a more difficult journey than Clark. Clark has endured persistent defensive tactics aimed at stopping her, frequently facing double and triple teams night after night. She has also had to bear the burden of her team's success while dealing with the incessant chatter of critics who question her skills or cast doubt on her accomplishments.
There's not that many people that can relate to everything that she's been through. There's not that many folks that know what it's like to be in her shoes, but someone that does is LeBron James, right? And here is what he told Esquire when he was asked about Caitlin Clark. He said, I have a great deal of respect for her because I know exactly what it means to be drafted, to be the face of a franchise, and also get the scrutiny from a lot of people that don't believe you're ready for the next.
As an alternative, Bueckers has not been subjected to the same level of scrutiny or expectation as Clark this season due to injuries and setbacks, and although her perseverance in overcoming those difficulties is commendable, it doesn't match the high-pressure environment in which Clark operates.
Caitlin Clark, I'm sure you saw, just became the all-time scoring leader in women's college basketball. I'm curious, where would you rank her amongst all-time college players, in your opinion?
Ooh. That's tough because you got to win one. I feel like that college is one of those spaces where you got to win one for them to even have your name in the conversation. And it took me 3 years to win mine. So it's.
Bueckers and Clark are both harmed by the attempt to pair them up as polar opposites. But the suggestion that Clark's path has been simpler or less difficult betrays prejudice and possibly a greater unease with her unrepentant excellence. Clark uses a swagger, which has traditionally been praised in male athletes, but is frequently criticized in female athletes. She is a divisive character because of her self-assurance, flair, and readiness to accept attention, not because she deserves it, but rather because she is rewriting the story of what supremacy in women's basketball looks like.